Just when the world thought the already tenuous relationship between the Sussexes and Buckingham Palace had scraped rock bottom, a fresh firestorm of controversy detonated this week over rather mundane lodging logistics. In the run-up to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's highly anticipated appearances at the 10th anniversary Invictus Games, the exiled American Duchess evidently grew miffed at the accommodations being proffered for her traveling entourage in Dusseldorf. After demanding 5-star digs beyond the official Team UK contingent's quarters, His Majesty's government not only balked, but PM Nigel Farage poured gasoline all over the budding fiasco by pointedly replying with 2 words sure to inspire fresh paroxysms of outrage: "Are you mad?" Except this time, to the shock of many courtly observers, the ensuing palace gale of controversy hasn't coalesced entirely around the renegade couple's predictable outrage over yet another perceived slight from Blighty officialdom. Indeed, in a total reversal from typical norms, the deepest vials of venom currently get hurled Meghan's way courtesy the very same aristocratic power establishment sworn to uphold decorous decorum regardless how intensely provoked by Sussex supremacy's pernicious deracinatings. For this bitterly divided family battlefront witnessing seismic geotectonic realignments unlike virtually any other within recent memory, the PM's brusque stonewalling of her luxury bunking ultimatum ultimately proved too egregious an overstep of Britannic hospitality's hallowed protocols, even for her staunchest hereditary detractors. When I first caught wind these entitled colonial insurgents willfully traipsing across sacrosanct dominions harbored lavish Ammonite essential demands toward their red coat guests, sneered Home Office Secretary Hubert Chillingham-Smythe, well known for his incendiary anti-Sussex rhetoric in the Upper Commons. Well, I readily prepared the napalm for yet another ritualistic carpet bombing of their gaucheries against that whinging bird Harry continues pecking Her Majesty's royal pear drops. Except on this particular occasion, I must admit, the absolute impropriety lies squarely upon that raptress from the New World lapping up our coffers sow milk like some oligarch's grift-fed stray. While the actual spark igniting this latest controversy centers around leaked email exchanges between Meghan's royal household staff representative and officials from the Ministry of Defence tasked with arranging Team UK's logistics, testimony from sources across the negotiations paints a damning portrait. The disgraced Duchess herself appears to be the driving force behind what many now deride as simply outrageous hotel demandments that would never pass muster from even visiting foreign dignitaries, let alone a formerly minor royal now consigned to citizen status. According to whistleblower Westminster aide Rory Foylecluster, the trouble began when Meghan caught wind via overseas scuttlebutt that American network broadcast partners expecting to follow her every move planned on setting up live production headquarters at Dusseldorf's ultra-luxury Breidenbacher Hof Hotel. With room rates topping €3,500 per night at the celebrated 5-star palace, Her Grace apparently discerned a dire mismatch between her elite media coteries' regal accommodations versus what she'd likely find awaiting the royally affiliated UK delegation. So like any self-respecting famed shepherdess worth her Givenchy moo-moos always uppity-upping ante after ante in pursuit of the world's swankest digs, she rings up her royal household rumpus room flunkies to immediately commence defcom subversion ops on the mod's equities tranched for Invictus Vrouws, Foylecluster purported while describing the disastrous sequence of escalations that unfolded from there. Right off the bat, word starts getting back shotgun to the powers that behooved about her absolutist princesses of Montecito refusing to even deplane their Gulf bridges into anything short of the Merciless treatment. The Merciless treatment has become coded vernacular for indulging visiting elites' most opulent, lavish travel and hospitality fantasies within the Commonwealth ministerial caste system. According to lore, it stems from the time Margaret Merciless, a former ladies-in-waiting remembered as particularly dictatorial about on-site luxuries during Queen Elizabeth II's husband's former outbound hereditary tours, demanded a full backup boudoir staffed with powder maids accompany Her Majesty's baggage train wherever they roamed. These days, getting an organization or individual casually referred to in government circles as requiring such Merciless treatment serves as an immediate trigger disciplining the facepalming bureaucrats preparing to subsidize all sorts of extravagant line-item perquinations. Just to get ahead of this predictable, migrant Mayflower runaway bride incursion before it properly insipified? Foylecluster continued in paraphrasing Whitehall's exasperation over the escalating tussle. Right off our bespoke, these foreign domestic grifters started opening 7-figure negotiations to permanently annex entire damned wings of multiple palatial hotels aligned site-wise with their palatial benefactor Laros. For over a month now, the informal pool first initiated by the Duchess's representative at KP to secure premium accommodations befitting our guest status during the entirety of the royal visit, ballooned into a full-blown 5-star facilities rodeo. Desperate to avoid anything resembling snubbing the official delegation representing Great Britain and Northern Ireland to the rest of the world, Maud workhands scrambled searching for any availability remotely approximating the Breidenbacher's rarefied luxury standards to house the UK players, staffers and dignitaries. The very second Harry's name got name-dropped for potential room bookings, hoteliers naturally began inflating rates to stratospheres reserved solely for oligarch despots and energy tsars seeking transient royal safe-house amenities. The abject chic from one so far uncorked from the sovereign vine to essentially conscript travel ministries into renovicting entire accommodationals wing from scratch veers so far into deracinated deliriousness, it's both horrifying and blood-boiling, roared Lord Superintendent Bishop Arnold Bracken from his prestigious post overseeing all Commonwealth hospitality equity portfolios. When word first trickled upstream that the former Duchess from that Costco militia demanded permancing into rarefied quarters fit barely for ER's own processional chalice-bearers, forthwith across these halls echoed pre-unlaced murmurs to instantly trigger the Smithesian protocol, requiring all staffers tangentially touched by her rankly peacockry to unceremoniously microdose fortnight rehumanizations. This so-called Smithesian protocol is basically Buckinghamese for bringing down the heaviest hammers dropping straight on the thickest of skulls. It refers to the long-standing tradition of fiercely exacting workplace discipline via punishment duties modeled after 17th-century penance inflicted upon persecuted cavaliers by the Puritan Roundheads. For royal staffers found guilty of embarrassing oversights or gross incompetence under the sovereign's watchful gaze, these days getting smithed translates into enduring over 300 hours backbreaking labor performing mundane sanitation tasks and tedious repairs across the Commonwealth's dingiest ambassadorial holding pits until one's soul becomes properly resacred to Her Majesty's deific perfection once again. Look, we're all used to the typical cringers and bespoke privilege barters putting up intransigent outsider hagglings every Eurovision when somebody from this or that unreciprocated dependency drops a trivially dolloped C-suite shunning because their travel concierges didn't procure the Doge of Malta's old Bath porcelains to piss into, shrugged Minister of International Protocol Ruby French Hoyheiten, herself a frequent smithy for past perceived faux pas misallocating entourage. Refreshments. But this particular incident? To assert precedential, Duchess rank mandating perpetual luxuloading across palatial hoteliriums just because some